everybody, and welcome back to the channel where we are once again doing a speed art drawing. I know that I have done so many of these over the last couple of months, and this is something that I didn't really used to do too much of unless it was relating to my artistic impressions or anything like that. But as you've probably gathered from all the previous videos, on a Thursday I do an art stream for the first hour and a half of a 3-hour long stream over on Twitch where I do drawings and things like that. And at the moment I'm doing the artist emotions. So I've in the previous videos you'll have seen a little screen of about 25 I believe it is, little figures, and I have to draw a character and an emotion picked by the chat. Now that one has been completed, and as of the 1st of this year, 2023, so we're 6 months in, I'm aware, and you still haven't seen any of those yet. It takes a long while for me to make these videos because I'm ultimately lazy, either that or I'm very busy. Anyway, we now have a square of 100 emotions that we're currently doing, and if you're interested in getting your own character or anything like that drawn over on Twitch, please pop over to my Twitter, because if you have an OC that you want me to draw, I need their character sheet before the live stream, otherwise I can't do it. Or if there's a character that you'd like to see me draw, I do take character requests over on Twitch on a Thursday. But how does that relate to this drawing? Now this was a commission by my friend Kurgan. In the end, we decided that he wasn't going to pay for it because I'm a nice person and I just like being friendly to people, and I still don't feel comfortable taking any money for my art, which is weird. It's not always probably going to be that way. It may be, I don't know. Anyway, that's a long other story. But he wanted me to draw a skull and crossbones. Now this video, however, is as always a request of my lovely patron Andrew Riley, who loves seeing my art videos and my process and decides that I'm really good to just have random bullshitty chats at you for this kind of thing. So here we are. I am currently talking to you about a skull and crossbones, though in this video it's not skull and crossbones, it's a skull and cutlasses, because the original design brief was a wolf skull, which is obviously what I'm going to draw today, and cutlasses with the crossed cutlasses instead of being bones. This changes at a later date to being a skull and crossbones, and if you're interested I will link his TikTok down below in the description, or I'll try, because I'm very bad at making TikTok work with my PC. I don't know why, but anyway. Kurgan is someone I met through TikTok, and he has an OC character that he was building like a crew for, and I was trying to join, but cosplay has kind of gone all over the place recently for me, and he wanted this drawing done, so I did it, a wolf and cutlasses, and I really enjoyed drawing this, even though halfway through stream I was like, I now want bones. I was like, okay, that's fine. But it was so fun. I know I'm sounding a bit peeved. I'm not peeved at all. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to actually discuss where the skull and crossbone kind of theme comes from in art and all that kind of thing. Now, when you first think of the skull and crossbone, of course, you think of pirates, because who doesn't? However, surprisingly, it doesn't necessarily mean pirates. It's a symbol, as you know, that typically consists of a human skull with 2 bones crossed together under or behind the skull, depending on the coat of arms that the flag belongs to or the symbol belongs to. It was originally designed from the late Middle Ages, and it's a symbol of death, used typically, originally, very surprisingly, as a memento mori on tombstones. In modern contexts, as in modern day right now, it's used as a hazard symbol, usually in regards to poisonous substances such as deadly chemicals. It's also obviously associated with piracy and software piracy in modern days, due to it historically sometimes being used in the Jolly Roger flags. It was also used in a lot of military insignia, coats of arms of regiments and things like that, but it's not commonly associated with that, even though it was actually more prevalent within military things than pirating in the Navy. Weird, right? So, surprisingly, there's not actually an awful lot that I can tell you about the Jolly Roger or the skull and crossbones. Really weirdly, there's so many different types, there's so many different regiments, military, army, navy, despite what I just said. that it relates to. So I thought, you know what, let's talk about art. Skulls and art, because why not? It's always interesting to find out what it means to people. So one of the most popular, or used to be before the Renaissance, was images of skulls, was the serpent crawling through the eyes of skulls, which is also very, very synonymous with the goth subculture. The serpent, however, represents the god of knowledge and immortality, the chthonic god of knowledge and immortality, because as he sloughs his skin off, he gains more knowledge and all that kind of thing, which is why it was such an important role, and was also, well, I say role, an important piece of artwork, which is why it's also surprisingly a source for the Garden of Eden. Didn't know that? It was very interesting to find that out. The serpent is always making its way through the skull, through the eye socket, showing that knowledge persists beyond the dead, or death. And the emblem always states that the serpent has the secret, and the serpent is the keeper of knowledge. In Elizabethan England, you get the death's head skull, which is also obviously where you get the death's head moth. Not necessarily in the UK, I mean that's where the death's head moth comes from. Well, the name for it anyway. It's a depiction of a skull without the lower jaw blown, and it is emblematic of boards, rakes, sexual adventures and prostitutes. Did you know that? Because I didn't. The terms death head was actually parlance for these kind of people, because most of them wore half skull rings to advertise their station, either professionally or otherwise. The original rings were wide silver objects with a half skull decoration not much wider than the rest of the band, which allowed it to be rotated around the finger to hide the skull in polite company, and then to be repositioned very, very quickly without anyone else really knowing. Venetian painters of roughly the same period, however, tended to equate skulls, as I've said before, to the memento mori, which is a common theme through a lot of different things, which is literally a reminder that we all die. We're gonna die. Sadly, it's horrible, but it's a key, very interesting thing that everybody has to deal with. I think one of my favourite things that Eric, the Phantom from the Phantom of the Opera, says is one must get used to everything, even eternity, and it's why he sleeps in a coffin. You had that right, the Phantom of the Opera sleeps in a coffin and has a skull as his face, essentially, because he's not very well. Poor man, but I'm sympathetic, but I still think he's an asshole. And as always, we have come to our time at the end of the video. This one wasn't as structured as it normally is. I normally have a lot of ideas of what I'm actually going to talk to you about, so I apologise for that. But anyway, here we are at the end of the video. As always, I do hope you have enjoyed this video. Please do like, comment, share and subscribe. And if you are interested, as always, in getting a character of your choice drawn, or even something like this done, please do message me over on Twitter or any of my other socials that are listed down below. I'd be more than happy to talk to you and discuss our options. As always, take care everybody, have fun, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.